teams are happy to go to all the time, but both teams are good on it.
I mean, it was touched on in the analyst desk. With the amount of games that the Giants play, they ban a lot of maps.
Yeah.
You can't really single one out here. Giants,
they've got a good map pool.
They ban Maverick, and it's another Thatcher ban from Aerowolf, their most banned operator.
You think we might see a Valkyrie ban here from Aerowolf?
I would assume so.
I wouldn't be surprised.
On Villa, but it's not as good. Giants play it.
Oh,
this is the Zeronic special.
Okay, getting rid of the Jaeger there,
which was an operator that was so crucial.
It was
for their defenses,
and that's
playing on Cafe.
Obviously, Giants not going to be banning out the Valkyrie. They'll get rid of the Mira. That means that Giants Gaming, starting on defense here, are going to have Valkyrie as an operator to use, which was so important on Cafe. Now, I would argue that Villa is not as good for Valkyrie as Cafe is, but she's good anywhere. She's a universally useful operator, so it's not like you're not going to bring her here. But she might not, actually. As you see, Giants starting out without the Valkyrie.
Could be six-pick bait.
Could be six-picked. There is Hysterics on the IQ. So Aerowolf have gotten wise to two things. One, Mentalist was struggling on IQ. Switch that up, put it on Hysterics on there. Two, we weren't bringing a Zofia or an Ashe. And by we, I mean Aerowolf. So they bring Zofia.
What do you play for the team now?
Of course. Yes, now I am on the roster. It's a new transition.
Okay, well, I mean, it was fun casting with you.
Yep. I mean, it was fun while it lasted.
I didn't know you were moving to Singapore.
Yep. Yeah, well, I mean, they speak English there, right? So
they do.
I will be right at home, I'm sure. So we'll be going into this match with Giants up one map already. Aerowolf fighting at the disadvantage, and they will be starting on attack here for Villa. Now, this is Aerowolf's map pick, which is relevant, of course, but both teams, again, have decent records here, and both teams ban this map so frequently, it's ridiculous. Now, Aviator Games to start things off. That's nothing too crazy.
It's the default site for Villa.
It is, yeah.
It's a default site for Villa, and Giants is going to be rolling out a composition that looks eerily similar to every single round that we saw in Cafe, which is, well, you're going to bring a Mute, you're going to bring a Mozzie, you're going to bring a Legion. The Valkyrie is gone. They've got a Maestro in place. Maestro was banned in the previous map, so this is going to be his debut in this series between these two teams. And immediately, Aerowolf is going to use one of the logic bombs.
Interesting. Looks like they're trying to clear out those roamers. See if that's successful.
I mean, you've had problems entering if you're Aerowolf.
Yeah, they really
what helps.
But the problem was also mostly due to that Valkyrie and the presence that Isis was able to put out. And because there's no information being gathered on the Red Hallway, Hysterics is going to get Rise. He just inserts himself into Red Hall, waits for the peek from Rise, and wins the fight. That is the difference between having that information being gathered from your Valkyrie and not having any to begin with. Now, early kill here for Aerowolf. That's a great start, but Hysterics did lose a lot of HP in that fight.
Did I hear correctly that Alfama sounded like he shouted out of mags, which means that the smoke won't have access to the shotgun? It'll just be the SMG. No, I've heard wrong. I don't know what he was shouting, but he doesn't have access to anything if he's dead. And that Speakeasy with Mentalist to clobber Corey, and this is a very aggressive entry from Aerowolf. It's been 1 minute and 20 seconds. They've been able to clear 3 members of the Giants away. In the interim, Aerowolf have traded a little bit of HP from Mentalist and then a lot of HP from Hysterics on the very onset of their entry. You've still got the nuisance, that is Legion, and he's going to make his presence known as he takes down Lunar Metal. Playing by a broken window. Hicks' position given away by a drone that comes up the main stairs. Hicks is playing behind the deployable shield over by Classical Wall, and he's going to try and hold down the study. He's going to find the Zofia, but lose the fight. Speakeasy immediately turns, expecting the Legion to pop up. But if there's any drone work from Aerowolf, they'll know that Aces is on the other side of the map. He's going to have to retake, and he's going to start by going downstairs, aided by what is a merciless amount of goo mines, as well as a mute jammer. He's going to head towards the main stairs, but he's his back turned, and he's not going to see what appears to be the IQ of Hysterics, and Aerowolf start things off by getting the very first round. They're going to need this. They're going to need a couple more on an even more defender-sided map than Cafe tends to be. Villa, the grandfather of all defender-sided maps, Michael.
What a great clear into the building on those roamers. We saw Aerowolf eliminate the majority of the roamers, not all, but the majority of the roamers early in the round and get punished very, very little. They lost a little bit of HP, but other than that, almost nothing came out, and that really worked against them. Then they transition into the site take, and all of the setup that Giants puts up, for example, the shield at the top of the main staircase, the player behind it, the hold over by Study into Aviator, just all of it falls flat. We even see a kill downstairs in the basement on one of the roamers, thanks to the Dokkaebi phone call giving away his position and good droning there. Speakeasy also managed to down Hicks there, as you saw. It's just, in general, the setup that we saw Giants use, which was pretty much, we want to hold the roam and we want to hold top of main stairs. Every time they doubled down on that setup, and by they I mean Giants, Aerowolf punished them.
It was probably the best entry that we saw at Aerowolf between the two maps so far. Cafe was a dreadful experience from Aerowolf, if we're being completely honest, with how they took map control and how they entered the building. Many times, Aerowolf just seemed to barrel through a window or a doorway and not be aware that Aces was on the other side to greet them. Aces ended up being the last alive, and, well, he got ignored for most of that very first round. I don't think Aces is going to play it that far off-site in the future. He's likely going to play a little bit more close with the team, and, well, if he does that, the chances of his team prevailing rise drastically.
When you've got a man like Aces, you really do want to put him in the thick of it. He is the type of player who's going to make it happen up close. And we've even got like Rise, for example, who has had a really good season statistically. So you get them close to each other, you get them on the important spots, and they can do a lot.
This is a little bit of, I guess, history as to how the Giants play on Villa and why you see this Jaeger ban come out. The other side of the story is that the Giants have never had to deal with a Jaeger ban on Villa, yet they play him 63% of the time. There is no Jaeger substitute. If he gets banned, you cannot just simply reach into your operator pool and pull somebody out who does a job suitably to cover the weaknesses that a lack of Jaeger will present. Warden is a bit like that, depending on how you play him, but he doesn't destroy the explosives or projectiles. He just simply absorbs them, and they probably make him stronger. I'm not quite sure exactly what he does.
I don't think that happens.
In that mustache of his. So.
Yeah, but maybe the mustache makes him stronger.
But Warden doesn't really make a lot of sense on Villa, at least not right now, with the way that the roles go, so you're not going to utilize him. You're going to need some changes here from Giants Gaming. Aerowolf trying to get the better of their opponents through two separate sets of operator bans now. Hysteric's still on the IQ. He's not too far off from Ysera. Opening things up as best he can, and Ysera just barrels in through the window, rises there. He's going to have to play with somebody on upside down rappel. If he jumps out, there's a Claymore waiting for him, and Rise will be dead, but he sees it, doesn't see Hysterics above. It was a bait, and they'll trade him off. The Giants still got the opening frag, which is so crucial. A logic bomb goes off with just over a minute to go, and Aerowolf is hoping to paralyze the defenders, and, well, it works. Aces isn't aware of Mentalist jumping on in the C7-5, the brick, as you called it, really working wonders.
Now this is impressive, Parker. Aerowolf keeping themselves in man advantage on attack of Villa, and it's not looked really even that close, to be honest. It was a nice shot from Rise early in the round to get Ysera, but other than that, Aerowolf have been dominant in their engagements.
How convenient would it be for Boss GA-Cog right now on Mentalist, I think, being the opponent of this. Speakeasy inhaling some of the toxic gas as he pushes back. He can't really do all that much. We hear one shot from the Boss G go off as Corey understands that Mentalist is nearby. He's got a teammate within reach. Mentalist taking a lot of damage. Traded very swiftly by Lunar Metal, who's just in the site. The all the doing work punished as Lunar Metal gets one, and Aerowolf just shut them out. But Giants will try to keep their composure as this is a defender-sided map that's not going in favor of the defense so far. There's still plenty of time left for Giants to be able to recover, but you need this kind of start with Aerowolf to bounce back after that Cafe performance, coming so close, yet ultimately falling just short.
Okay, based on that, you can expect there to be a different site played here by the Giants. You really aren't going to see them go 3 rounds, same site, lose it all 3 times. It just seems like Aviator is not the place to be if you are Giants. Likelihood they'll probably move to Trophy Statuary or Kitchen, but more likely Trophy. There were also some moments there from Giants where they didn't, again, I would attribute a lot of that to a lack of information. I know Valkyrie's not as good here as she is on Cafe, but oh boy, what if we saw Aces on the Legion at the top of the red staircase? What if we saw him with a Valkyrie cam and he doesn't get peeked unawares and eliminated easily by Mentalist? What if there's actual information being gathered from the Giants, and that's not a problem? Well, Giants are going to be bringing 2 things to try and solve this issue that they've been having. They're going to be bringing an Ela and a Clash. That might be two tools that will actually work out great in the long run. That could be something to replace the Valkyrie in usefulness. Again, Valkyrie's not amazing. Not on every single map all the time constantly, but she is a very useful tool. I will say though, the IQ play on the attack now, since it's changed hands off of Mentalist, I think that's going to be a little bit more useful. We've been seeing IQ actually using her gadget a lot more in this first 2 rounds, and yeah, I think that the Valkyrie cams would probably be spotted out.
I feel like I don't want to give Mentalist too much flack because there was that really good view that we got on the very first round of the Cafe attack from Aerowolf, where Mentalist was doing an excellent job on IQ on the piano repel. But after that, things really did seem to fall off.
To be completely fair, I just think it's wrong, or I think it's wrong hands, right tool. And I think that Mentalist is got amazing hands for other things, for other tools, for other jobs, and that's what he should be doing. You know, I mean, we're in that situation right now where you need everyone on the most efficient, most proficient roles in this match. And since that change has come down, since Hysterics has been put on IQ, I think things have been working out pretty good on the information gathering and gadget destroying from Aerowolf.
Hysterics doesn't have breaching charges. He's not going to be able to get through the barrel in the basement of Villa, so...
His Claymore's been working well enough to bring, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he was on the upside-down rappel. He got the kill that was required onto Rise as he shot out the Claymore, so...
Yeah.
Clash is going to be first point of contact. Along with Rise, as you'd mentioned, the Ella Clash pick that was put on in. It's Alfama, who's done great work on Clash before. Let's not discredit his ability. I think Mentalist is sensing a run out, and, well, if you're an Ella player, you don't necessarily want to take that long range of a fight because her gun doesn't really work in that situation. She's a close quarters operator, and if anybody dares engage at that range, you've also got a Clash there to do quite a lot of nasty work. It won't go too well for Aerowolf if they decide to push up. Rise knows that he's got to take this fight at close range, and he's got Hysterics there, finds Hysterics. As the IQ does not quick peek around the corner, that hesitation will cost Aerowolf their very first life.
The Shadow also gave forewarning there to Rise, so he was able to pre-fire that IQ. Really good job there on the positioning from Rise, and his ability to win that fight. Meanwhile, Alfama holding on to Astro. Rise there to support. Corey's going to get Ysera, so the body count for Aerowolf is racking up here, and Giants Gaming is able to hold all of these bottlenecks and are being stopped dead. Now, this is important. Satcher banned by Aerowolf, and they can't open the wall because of that. Why? Hicks is bandit tricking. There doesn't seem to be the right tools here for Aerowolf to dislodge him from that position. The nades are not coming to where they need to be, and there's no hard destructor anyway, but yeah, a different mentality from Aerowolf. They'll will get one kill there, but Aces from 90 is going to get Speakeasy, and a second in Connector. Will it be a third? Yes, Aces. A beautiful round at the end. It was looking like Giants were going to be able to win that, but that's just impressive gunplay.
Aces will frag on any single operator, Michael. It doesn't matter who it is.
True.
It doesn't matter if it's a Valkyrie with a gun that I think some people sleep on in comparison to your opinion on it versus the Alda, which I don't think anybody is sleeping on that
No one's
weapon.
sleeping on the Alda.
Nobody's sleeping on the Alda at all, especially not with the racket that thing makes when you've got as many bullets as you get. So, excellent play, though, from the Giants. They were able to thwart the entry of the Aerowolf team every single time. Ysera, I don't know if he should have really engaged that one, but not much you can really do there. I think Aerowolf sensed the clock was going lower. They really needed to make a play. And they did, don't get me wrong, but they didn't play it correctly. They were never able to get control of Astronomy because of the Clash that was playing inside of the actual room. The Ella was playing not too far off supporting, and that's something that needs to be fixed in the future. Now, the thing for Aerowolf is they won't have to go back and attack Trophy until the very final round, as it's locked for rounds 4 and 5. We find ourselves in round number 4, and well, Aviator hasn't really been working. So where are you going to go? Down to the first floor. You go down to Kitchen, because Kitchen is a very defendable site, and I think that the Giants have enough versatility that they can make any site on this map work. I don't want to hesitate on Living Room Library because it's not that great to defend, period. I don't know how many teams can make that work, very few. But Kitchen is winnable, very, very winnable. So yeah, you're going to see a setup. You're going to see a setup downstairs. It looked like Corey was also going to go onto the Warden. It was missed as they were showing shots of the crowd, but was eventually picked off of. So thinking that there's a Warden that might be in play, but the very first pick is going to come to the defenders, and Aerowolf will find themselves down 1 with 20 seconds left. Oh my, not ideal. Say so long to Lunar Metal, who's been a great player for them so far on Villa.
Mental is trying to regain that manpower, but he's actually going to lose one. But that secured kill will cost Corey his life. That's really good teamwork there from Aerowolf. You could see the comm come out from Mentalist when he got downed. You could see his face. And the reaction from the Zofia Speakeasy was almost immediate. Good job there to Aerowolf. And it is man advantage still for Giants, but at least they keep themselves in the round somewhat. We have seen some miracle rounds from Aerowolf also in the past, so I wouldn't be surprised if they bring this back. They've got 2 minutes to do so. There goes one of what I assume to be a Valkyrie cam.
That's correct.
And that's Valkyrie making a return to Giants. Hysterics is going to get Hicks, though, downstairs. There is the roaming Valkyrie, though, playing inside of the living room. That's going to be Aces. He's been doing some great work on this operator, and now he's got a chance to do it again on a different map. But Speakeasy misses it. Oh, no! Great awareness there from Aces, and it almost looked like it was going to be Aerowolf actually taking the manpower advantage, but it's going to be a refrag at least for Hysterics, who cuts off that rotation through the drop down. Still plenty of time for the remaining 2 attackers, and they have top 4 control.
That probably should have been a play onto Aces, but he gets away with murder on that one, and Speakeasy, who has been one of the best players for Aerowolf and one of the best players in this entire matchup, misses his shots and he flubs the game sense, if we're being completely honest. There's time to salvage this if you're Aerowolf, but Giants right now have excellent denial. An Echo and a Smoke as your final 2 operators for the Giants are exactly what you want in the dying moments of a round. Some of the safety and security on that very first floor is going to be taken away by the Buck playing above Yasera. And you've got Hysterics down below. They're going to work together, but neither are on drones, and they might not have the information that they require. Being spotted is Hysterics as he shoots out a default cam, and Alfama is prepped and ready for him. Dropping through the hatch to join Hysterics will be Yasera. Alfama's in a great position now with that MP5. It doesn't do a ton of damage, but the thing's a headshot machine. Buck drops even farther down now, so he's going to ascend the stairs, and he'll make some noise, which will likely prompt Giants to turn and look in a different direction. A frag grenade is being prepped. It'll go right towards the feet of Alfama. Hysterics finds one. Alfama refrags. He quickly pivots, turns around, and he's looking for the IQ as they edge around the corner, but the time is running out. Who's going to win the fight? Alfama does. It's just simply a 1v1. You got to win those. In this case, Giants will. The whole round hinges upon it, and tying things up is Alfama on a great 1v2. Cool under pressure, that's all he needs. Round number 5 about to go underway.
Those are Alfama's only 2 kills, and can we say impact frags to describe those? Oh boy, clutching it out. Great job to him. That was a really back and forth round. The ebb and flow was just impressive. Now, Aerowolf keeping in lockstep with Giants, and vice versa. That's 2 rounds in a row for Aero, responded to by 2 rounds in a row for Giants. We'll see that 2-2 scoreline come out. Now, the actual clear of the roamers there from Aerowolf was really great. I got to commend them for it. But when they actually came to the site, when they were trying to pressure these anchors, it was a little bit... the coordination wasn't fantastic, and the time was a major factor. The pressure that they must have felt when trying to clear into the site was, I'm sure, extreme. So unfortunate there for Aerowolf. They weren't able to lock it out in the end. Impressive for Giants and Alfama specifically when they managed to win that clutch. Now, it will be Aviator Games once again. This is a site that has been lost twice in a row by the Giants. The first 2 rounds where they tried to go here. And I'm sure they've had plenty of time to rethink how they want to defend this. I'm sure, as well, this will be a very different setup. They have brought the Clash again. They have not brought the Valkyrie as they were doing earlier.
They brought the Ella, though.
And, yeah, they did bring the Ella. The Clash plus the Ella is going to be good information gathering. You just put a Clash on the most bottlenecks possible, and then the Ella Gizmats on wherever it is you're worried about being pushed. It's the same thing, same principle as a Legion Trap or a Capcan Trap. It's forewarning.
The Clash and the Ella combination worked effectively when you had to hold Astronomy. You assume that the Ella and Clash combo will likely now be done to hold Aviator. The problem is that once you lose Aviator, then, well, you're in real troubled waters here. Aerowolf's experiment with the Montaigne on Cafe did not work out so well as we now move towards the other team's lineup. And Lunar Metal will drag out the Mountain, as he is called in English, Montaigne in French, or Montaigne technically. Didn't really work on Cafe the way they wanted him to. How are they going to march out a Montaigne here? We've seen a number of teams utilize a Montaigne on this site in very different ways. You can march him down 90 and try to waste utility. You can march him on through the study, and he's usually going to be escorted in some capacity. Well, there's two shields that are going to quarrel, at least for the time being. The lineup from Aerowolf is over towards the master bedroom. Very great play from the shield there of Alfama as one stun goes off. A whole bunch of goo mines are hit, and Hysterix is there. Now it's Aces coming up the stairs. He's going to catch one, can't find the other. All the guns come alive as half of the lobby is killed in the span of 2 seconds. Well, all right, how's that action for you? None of it catchable, of course, because of the absolute calamity that ensued. The victor, though, is Aerowolf. They walk away with about half of the HP of Hysterix, more than what Giants has.
Most importantly, the Montaigne is still alive. Now, there is an Ella, and the Ella can make that shield undeploy. You can shoot the feet of the Montaigne, but that is assuming the Ella has any Guzmans left. We don't know that as a fact. Lunar Metal pushing his way into the site. No Guzman on the default plant or the B doorway. That's a really good piece of information to gather. Aerowolf now know that they can go for a plant in the B bomb site. There could be an evil eye there to deny, but it's unlikely it'll be allowed to be used. Corey trying to challenge directly with the Montaigne, trying to tussle up close. A long peek here at 90 for Hicks, and I'm not sure if anyone on the attack is expecting this. Here comes the reverse plant from Montaigne. The peek from Corey is successful. Will the deny be? No! As Hysterix shuts him down. Hicks now the last defender. He's going to have to find two. Lunar Metal going for the plant, and he will be able to stick it thanks to Hysteric's excellent cover. Hicks now in a really bad spot as he pushes the Montaigne. This should be unwinnable for the defense as Montaigne has a fully deployed shield and can just hold on to the doorway. Hicks trying to bait the Montaigne, but it will not be successful. Tries to find the second player as well, but he can't even manage that. And there's the peek from the IQ, the round over.
You see Hicks's face.
Between a rock and a hard place.
You hate to see it, don't you?
It's rough.
That's not a fun spot to be in. Ask anybody who's played this game, even remotely close to competitively, or even just in ranked. There's a reason why Montaigne is banned as often as he is against people who play this game at a high enough level, and it's because what you just saw is very annoying.
It is really frustrating.
It's so frustrating. You know you can't get out of it alive.
It's out of your hands at that point. It's a really bad situation to be in. And you know, to be fair, it is the case that if you can deny the plant in the first place, well then, okay, Montaigne post plant's not going to be that big of a problem. Or if you have the right tools, it's not going to be that big of a problem. But there are those situations where he just cannot be beaten. And yeah, there wasn't anything that Hicks could have done in that situation. Nice try, though.
Aerowolf regains the lead after holding it for the first 2 rounds and then it getting tied up by the Giants, or holding it for the first 3 rounds, I guess, technically. It was well played by Corey, but that gun is just, it does not do a lot of damage. It really doesn't. It's got a high rate of fire. It chews through a lot of people, but I mean...
Do you see, he was shooting at the feet because he was trying to shoot the feet that were exposed when the plant was coming down. And then Montaigne comes off the plant, turns around, and by the time Corey gets to the head of the Montaigne, his shield's back in front of that Montaigne.
I really liked Hicks's rotate through 90, and if he'd stuck with it, that round probably would have been his, let's be honest. So the stack up that came from Aerowolf was through master bedroom, and then of course you had Hysterix playing over by the connector with the window. And he vaults on in, he holds that angle. He takes Aces down off the stairs, and then the full push that's going to be coming out from Aerowolf is going to come through the back door of Aviator. It's going to come from over towards the top of main stairs. So if Hicks is able to make that long rotate all the way around 90, even as Maestro crouch walking, you're making next to no sound, let's be completely honest. He's going to continue to crouch walk on up. Well, yeah, you lose the Ella in the site, but then you've got only Hysterix watching, and the Montaigne is inside of the site. The problem is that if Hicks kills Hysterix, by the time Hicks gets the kill and then tries to push into the site, the Montaigne is very likely pulled off the defuse and then is blocking the doorway. And as you can see, Montaigne blocks you from being able to get on in. Aerowolf is going to be on their very final attack, and Giants will be on their very final defense. The Montaigne experiment from Aerowolf worked successfully, so they're going to try it once more. Giants will be running with the same lineup. They've got lots of versatility on this roster. They can run whatever they really want. The only difference is as we predicted, it'll be another trophy defense. It unlocked for the 6th round, the very final round, for Giants on this defense. Because of this, they're going to run that Clash Ella combo on Astro that was so hard to crack for Aerowolf. If Aerowolf once again stumble, they will almost you know, impossibly be able to take this round. It's over. So you have to focus on Astronomy. If you can't take Astronomy, whether you have the right utility or not, and there's a Zofia being run by Speakeasy, so it's definitely doable, Aerowolf will really struggle in this round.
Well, they have managed to take 3 rounds on attack of Villa, to be fair to them. So no matter what, they've done decent in this first half. Corey's going to eliminate Lunar Metal, though. That's the Montaigne gone, the last person you want to be losing early on, and that was
tough
really,
blow.
Yeah, it's tough blow. Really unfortunate for Aerowolf. Speakeasy is going to get Corey, though, so at least it's not over for Aerowolf. They've been really good at this. Aerowolf, I mean. They've been managing to keep this lockstep thing going on the first half. They never let Giants get away with an extreme lead. And there it is, Giants pushing up into Hysterics, unknown to the attack. Rise will actually get away with that too. Oh no, feet exposed there, and Speakeasy gets another kill. That's 2 for him, and Hicks really didn't need to give that away. But it's done now, and that's going to keep Aerowolf, again, in close proximity with their opponents. Speakeasy, though, hits a Guzmat. Now he is Zofia, so he will shrug that off pretty quickly. But it alerts Aces, and Aces will get that kill. He finishes off Speakeasy, but can't get the follow-up onto the Ysera, who vaults into Master. Flash is going towards Alfalma. Ace is still down, and it's unlikely he'll be picked up in the last 17 seconds of this round. Now there's a huge pressure on Alfalma to do work, but he's flashed. Mentalist will also get Rise, meaning it's just the shield, and there it is! Ysera and Mentalist, they win it!
Thank you for casting that round.
What?
It's like your eyes just blacked out as you just like watched what unfolded. Then you come back to reality. There was just so much action all the time that there's no handoff. I think that's cool. You know, Kix, you're a great caster. You can do those things.
What are you talking about? What happened?
Are you all right?
A little bit. But I was just captivated by that round.
No, that's what I said. It's one of those rounds.
Mm-hmm. It just kept going. It started and never stopped.
All right, well, you walk away from a Villa map, or at least a Villa half. That's sloppy play from Lunar Metal, 100%.
Yeah. Well, it's
you
from
walk
the team,
away.
Information gathering.
You walk away from a Villa take and a Villa defense, and it's the attackers who win at 4-2. And I think that's every right for Aerowolf to be celebrating as hard as they can, because that's quite a feat and quite an accomplishment. But Jaeger really does turn this map on its head, especially for Giants. The Siege GG stat popped up. It even said 63% of the rounds, the Giants are reliant on a Jaeger. There is no substitute. You cannot get a second Jaeger like you can if you ban a Thatcher. Well, there's a Twitch or an IQ, or if you really want to get creative, there's a Jackal, and there's a Buck, or there's even a Sledge or an Ash. You know, oh, you ban a Thermite, that's okay. There's a Maverick, there's a Hibana. Doesn't work with Jaeger, there's no alternative. So, what do you do? Nothing. You have to play around it. The Giants weren't able to adapt to that ban that came out for Aerowolf. It was very well played. So Aerowolf now need to realize that they are not going to have Jaeger at their disposal, nor a Mira. That's all right. I'm assuming most teams are accustomed to playing Villa without a Mira at this point in time. So when you look at the way that Aerowolf is going to play this, what do you see in their lineup? Well, they're going to invest the same with the Breach Denial. They've got a Kaid and a Mute on the board. The only singular hard breacher for Giants is going to be a Hibana. You don't need to double up on breachers here because, well, there's not really much you can do with it. But down goes Ysera, so those mute jammers better all be placed. And if it wasn't a deployable camera, there's a C4 off the board as well for Aerowolf. That's a challenge. Ace is finding a Gumine. He's going to continue up the top of the red stairs. A drone just scoots on by. He's going to try to grab the phone that's been dropped by Ysera with Lunar Metal inside a vault, very safely calling the advances from the Giants.
Hicks doing his work there on the IQ. Of course, early pick now, that means the Giants can pump the brakes a little bit. Start thinking about how they want to hit that site. You've got Alfalma on the Hibana, but the question is, where are the 2 Electro Claws? Because there could be one on each of the study walls, and that's going to prevent study from getting opened up, but that means that 90 wall is vulnerable. That's the wall into gun vault. And it doesn't seem like Giants have control of 90 just yet, so they're going to need to work on that. They could also just shoot the wall in B and open it up from the study balcony. You can see we've got Speakeasy trying to challenge that study balcony, trying to deny Alfalma opening up the wall. It's a dangerous prospect.
Afama's still paralyzed, at least for the time being. He doesn't know exactly where to go because that wall is going to be under heavy watch from Mentalist, who's going to be playing deep inside of the site with the Electric Claws, whether he wants to juggle the claws or not. You know, there's no laws when you're juggling claws, as they love to say. Ace is given away. Oh, what a shot onto Lunar Metal. Say goodnight. And another for Aces, as he's now found 3 kills on the entire round, and it's a double there for him. Hysterics with the holographic on the Aldo won't be able to do too much as Alfama cleans up, and the Giants start off attack in the way that they're going to need to continue on if they want to put this matchup away into the win category. It could be a 2-0. They'll need a couple more rounds. That's 3 on the board for the Giants with another opening frag, which they are absolutely crushing Aerowolf in right now.
We have seen a predominantly attacker-sided Villa thus far through this map. It's been pretty impressive, I have to say. I don't know if this is a case of the bans or if it's just these teams feeling so comfortable on attack of Villa. Right now on the ban side, we do have a Maverick Thatcher, and you would expect that to really slow down the attack. But as you mentioned, you just got to work around it when that happens. When that gets brought out, bring other tools, attempt other approaches to the attack. And, well, Giants have been making that happen, not to mention moments like this. Speakeasy has a shotgun, point blank, and he loses it. Aces even manages a second off of that scenario, because not a single shot is landed by Mentalist. I mean, there's a lot to be said about strategy and bans and individual plays, but then moments like that are the sort of thing that say, oh, it's all out the window. It's really just, okay, Aces reacted incredibly. Done.
Locate and defuse the bomb.
This is a lineup from the Giants that will strike fear in the hearts of just about anybody. Dokkaebi, Lion, Zofia, Sledge, Hibana. You got all the tools for a very quick execute. Just open up that wall and then go in from there. Now, we condemned Aerowolf and even somewhat the Giants on their inability to drone out their entry operators, while Aces just breaks a window and jumps right in. Then, very promptly uses one logic bomb. Down goes a second logic bomb. The Lion's gonna strike, and Aces is already at the doorway. Frag grenades in the hand of Dokkaebi. Out one goes. Hicks finds body, finds a second. Speakeasy and Lunar Metal to an early grave. And now Aces looking to add to it as well through the door. He's got a clear line of sight right on in. Ysera fends off Rise's challenge as another EOD will burst through. That's 2 uses. A logic bomb will go as well, and Aerowolf is just absolutely under siege at the moment. Hicks is within moments from being killed, as is Mentalist, so both members of each team will need to be very careful about what they do next. It was a very early push, but I don't know if the Giants are going to have too much trouble with the remaining members of Aerowolf. Hysterics and Mentalist are the last 2. And Mentalist is going to need to circle all the way around the site. Hysterics is the only one who might be able to possibly stop this. He's going to see the head of the Lion and not be able to hit Hicks. He just misses his shots. Goes right on cams, and he's got Mentalist supporting. They'll have to shoot it because the Dokkaebi cams have been able to give the information to the attackers. This is a trouble. Corey smashes the one Evil Eye cam, and well, this round is an absolute mess at the moment. Swing on out as Hysterics drops Corey. Who knows when it'll end, but Aces finds Hysterics, and now it's all on a Mentalist.
Low HP and not likely to happen, so Hicks will manage it. What?
It's the second time we've had a round like that where it's just like
he just keeps going.
Kind of stops, kind of goes, kind of stops, kind of goes.
And then because so it's weird. It's weird because pacing is off. Because there's no moment where it's like, oh, here's an appropriate time to hand off, and it just kind of. It's
like a relay where everybody's just running at different speeds and never slowing down.
Right. It's an awkward position to be in for pacing purposes. But it's what we've been getting a lot in this map in particular. We've got a 4-4 here, as both of these teams have been playing really just very differently from each other, but yet at the same time, they never seem to get away from one another's play style. Oh, missed shot there. Missed opportunity for Hysterics. But I believe he did manage to get this one at 90 onto Corey at least. Now, okay, that round mostly comes down to what came out of the initial rush at the beginning of the round, where the Lion and the Dokkaebi managing to use their abilities, get so much presence in the building. We see a rush follow up those ability usage, and 2 kills come out of it right off the bat, early on. And Aerowolf then are already fighting in a disadvantage. Not to mention, that round didn't even come close to ending on time. Not even close. We've been seeing a lot of that through this match. It's not an uncommon thing to have one of these teams win on defense because of time. So, good use there of the abilities, I'd say, for the Giants. Nice aggressive push into the building. Aware of what they had control of and what they needed to clear out. Didn't get punished too much, and Giants managed to turn it into a round win. Now, we have seen off of that a really impressive comeback from Giants. And thus far, it's been 2 rounds in a row for each team. You can see it on the round breakdown, the top right of your screen. 2 rounds in a row, 2 rounds in a row, 2 rounds in a row, and then it's back and forth, back and forth. Again, the lock step. The operator selection for Giants has been ruthless, by the way.
Oh, it's been
Lion and Dokkaebi.
So punishing, yeah. And I mean,
there's no line here, but
Aces loves Dokkaebi, and Dokkaebi gets banned against the Giants quite a fair bit. Rise gunned down, and immediately a logic bomb goes off to see if you can try to get a refrag if possible. Nothing for the time being, and Aces is just down on the first floor. Hicks is being droned in, but Aces doesn't need an escort. He's doing just fine on his own. It's Rise that was punished by the Giants, or punished for the Giants, and that's the Zofia. That's gone. Not a detriment when you've still got a Lion and a Dokkaebi on the board. These are very heavy utility operators, but Zofia can be very important to destroy soft walls. I would say burn ADSs, but Jaeger is banned. She's a disruptive operator, and she's not available for the Giants. They've got plenty of disruption for the time being. Sitting and waiting very patiently as Corey watches the window. He's just an inch away from possibly seeing Speakeasy, as there's going to be a goo mine set down. Final logic bomb goes out from Aces. And he's got the alibi of Ysera above. Aces is hoping to catch him, but no. He gets gunned down from Hysterics. Down goes Ysera, as Hicks was hot on his heels. Now inside of the walk-in closet, not too far off from Alphama, to be joined at some time. Alphama can still hit the wall that doesn't have any breach denial on it outside of a mute jammer. If you can get rid of that mute jammer, then you have an easier way into the master bedroom. You've got a minute to be able to do that. You can go down below if really required, but there's no frag grenades from Corey, so he's just going to have to shoot at it. Or Hicks is probably going to do that with his own gadgetry. Just under a minute left, and Aerowolf are in pretty good shape. A 4-3 advantage. Doesn't look like there's a lot of drones for Giants, and, well, they're starting to run low on utility.
Giants going to be able to open up that wall now. Mute Jammer's dealt with, and there will be another kill for them, meaning we're going to a 3-on-3. 35 seconds left for the Giants to hit that site. There is plenty of denial on the side of Aerowolf. Mentalist could have a C4. Lunar Metal likely has an Evil Eye in a position to deny the plan. So it's going to come down to a rough and tumble fisticuffs. We'll see if Giants can come out on top, or if it's going to be Mentalist to get one, Lunar Metal another. Hicks the last one on attack, but he knows where both are. He'll get a triple. Can he get the quad? He has Diffuser, and Mentalist does not have site control. He's going to have to deny using a C4 from below or come up from Astro Stairs. It looks like the plant might barely go down, but no, the marks are coming out. It doesn't seem like it could happen, and it won't. Aerowolf win the round. Mentalist on a marathon. He doesn't even need the C4.
The man's getting his step count in, and yeah, you were not in a good spot if you were the IQ right there. It came down to the very final 30 seconds, but the IQ swap from Hicks to go down to that first floor was crucial. Absolutely crucial. You realize at that time you have 2 options. It's a 4v3 that favors Aerowolf. Do you A, just simply go for frags through narrow doorways with no hard destruction whatsoever to aid you? You haven't opened up that wall. You don't have a way in. You haven't punctured the defense in towards the actual site. Or B, do you risk having your 2 remaining members that would stay upstairs being picked off by the 4 defenders while Hicks rotates down to take away the mute jammer? What do? You have 2 options at your disposal. The Giants picked the latter. They moved Hicks down to that first floor. He used his gadget, as a good IQ will do. And then when the moment that wall got opened up, you just trade back and forth. But what we saw was exactly why teams that focus on getting that opening pick and then waiting often win. It was a 4v3, and you just trade one after another, and the team that has a singular number advantage ends up coming out on top. Doesn't matter if you're poised to plant, doesn't matter what you're doing as an attacker. In that position, you're just out of options.
What has this match been, really? Both of these teams are at each other's throats, they won't let the other go. So you're absolutely right. If you get that early kill, there's going to be a very low chance that your opponent are going to be able to come back in the round if you just keep doing what you're doing. Early kill, keep up the frags, and even if the refrags come in from your opponents, just don't give them 2 for 1, and you're fine. Easy. We've been seeing both teams really cognizant of that, I think, through this match, and I've been impressed by the awareness on both sides. Now, another thing, speaking of at each other's throats, we still haven't seen anyone get 3 rounds in a row. And it's constantly 2 rounds in a row for each team back and forth. So according to that logic, Aerowolf should win this one, and then Giants should win 2 in a row to bring us to OT. That's, well, what we've been seeing a lot of so far through this map. Lion and Dokkaebi being brought once again from the Giants. That did work out pretty well for them the last time they brought this combination.
It almost worked for them the time previously. Now, keep in mind that Rise was removed from action very swiftly on the previous round, and it was Aerowolf who just held on. Now, Rise is not going to meet that same fate, at least for the time being. There's
1 minute in.
There's 1 minute in, so you've managed to not be an opening death, at least for the time being. And as we mentioned, Sophie is a very important operator.
Speaking of,
Lunar Metal gets spotted. I don't know how, but Aces has just been really something else. Down goes a logic bomb, so Aerowolf will at least know that they have to stay still for the time being as a Goo Mine is found from Alfama. A drone over towards the top of 90 to see if there's anybody nearby, but no, you have 90 control now if you're the Giants and you want it. Really well done. You can begin to take that vault wall.
But wall, if it opened up, it's going to be very important for the Giants because they're going to have to turn that into serious control. But Mentalist is actually going to be challenging that using the Kaid Electro Claws, and it's going to be successful. He's even got impacts to boot, which means this wall certainly will not be opened up by the Giants, or at least very unlikely will be.
So we said that this was a position where you had the control that you wanted. Ysera gets 1. He's standing on top of the mute chamber, so he can move while the EOD goes. Hicks turns his back to the fight on the main stairs. I don't think he knows if somebody's there. Out goes C4, it misses, but Hicks knows that there's a position. One of the players. Inside is Corey. He's gonna get spotted by a Goo Mine, but he still gets the kill in the process. Oh no! Corey reaches over and kills Alfama, and the diffuser in the hands of Hicks. He's gonna need to plant at some point, but Hicks is not close to the rest of his teammates. They don't have control for the time being. Rise is expecting to push up the red stairs, so he'll wait in that position. And he's very correct. There is somebody there from Aerowolf waiting to ascend. He's gonna see it, but lose the fight to Ysera as Ysera heads off, and now you're gonna need to rotate if you're Giants. They've still got utility to spare if they want it. 1 EOD remains, and you can take advantage of that. But I don't think Hicks is aware of where he's getting shot from just through the doorway. So now Corey, who's inside of the site, will need to do some work. He does indeed. He's got 2 lined up. Corey's the killing machine, and it's all on Ysera now with Hicks will find, and it's no match point. Oh man, Giants make that one close. Not like this, they say. 5-5 after an absolutely frantic end of that round, with Corey being the sole reason why it's not match point for Aerowolf.
I mean, he got the team kill, and then he thought to himself, oh, I need to make up for that. And he certainly did. Oh boy, impressive entry there into Gun Vault. And Giants Gaming, what a comeback. What's more important is that we have just seen a break of the pattern, Parker. No more will a team get 2 rounds in a row and then bounce back to the other team getting 2 rounds in a row. Giants Gaming, as much as they're on 5-5 right now, they have just given themselves a significant leg up, rather. Here's that nade early on from Aces. So this is actually, by the way, this is just a really common nade spot. It's right by the bar. You can see it right here, perfectly highlighted by the replay. So it wasn't that Aces spotted anyone or knew anything. It was just, yeah, it's just a typical spot there for a nade placement. So good awareness, good knowledge on the side of Aces. He's not just one of those players that hits incredible shots, and his game sense is incredible, and everyone's just impressed by everything. He also he knows a lot. He's a very experienced individual.
I love how they showed that replay and the crowd chuckled.
Yeah, it was good.
The crowd, it wasn't even a chuckle, it was like a giggle.
The crowd's been really good at this event.
The crowd here has been exceptional.
Absolutely fantastic.
4,000 Japanese fans, which honestly stunned me. I did not expect the crowd to be this large.
Huge.
I came into this event, as you know, not really on the, not really updated the most because I had a 3-month break or 2-month break.
Right. A little hiatus.
I yelled a little hiatus, and I came in, and I saw the venue yesterday, and I was just gobsmacked with how many seats there were. Frankly, I did not expect there to be anywhere near remotely close to this number of people that would be turning up.
That's the same feeling I have felt.
This, based on the back of my own, math, this might be the second biggest event that we've ever had after Rio.
It's really large, that's for darn sure. Ace's early kill here, and Mentalist goes down. So Giants Gaming, off of their incredible win in the last round and Corey's performance individually, they now are in a position where they could be on match point. Now, we've been talking about constantly how important that first kill is on Villa. And I really do think it's the sort of thing that Giants and Aerowolf both have been doing well at leaning into round wins. Get the early kill, turn it into a round win. They're both good at that.
Aerowolf has done an okay job of translating that, but right now, in terms of opening frags, the Giants are actually clobbering them. There's only been, by my count, 3, maybe 4 rounds that Aerowolf has had the opening kill on. That's it. That is not a good statistic, especially when you note it's so important to get the first opening pick here. It has been a very attacker-sided Villa. It's only been 3 rounds on defense that have victories. Over 10 rounds played thus far. That's not really what we're used to seeing.
Now, Corey's actually playing a little bit of mind game here with Lunar Metal, but it's not going to matter because Lunar Metal has the heartbeat detector. Now, amazingly, Corey lets a Lunar get out of Memorial, and he's back into the kitchen bomb site. Corey has control here in Memorial, and he can do a lot with this position. But he knows, as well as I'm sure most of you do, he doesn't need to push the site right now. He just needs to keep this control and keep pressuring the site so that the rest of his team can get in a position to do work.
Did that hit the fireplace?
It hit the fireplace, yeah.
And the fireplace burns things.
It destroys everything that you throw into it, yeah.
So it's actually hot.
I guess so,
a furnace. Interesting. Okay, well.
I think it was mostly done to avoid you throwing Valkyrie cams in there and them being really hard to spot.
I mean, that's very smart.
Because it was changed. You used to be able to
stealth mechanic. Ysera takes out Aces. And wow, there's another for Ysera. Goodbye, Corey. As you call him, Corey. Hysterics is there as well. Alfama finds Hysterics. Spotted right away, and Hicks gets disrupted by the Elamine. Alfama's hot on the case of Ysera, and he'll find him out 2v2, with Hicks and Alfama having a significant advantage in terms of health for the time being. Speakeasy is not too far off from death, and he's going to stare down Hicks, at least for the time being. You just have to wait it out if you're Aerowolf. If you're in this position, you just simply sit and wait, or you take the fight to them. Speakeasy pops up. Say goodbye, Hicks. And Aerowolf on match point. Okay, there you go. Are you going to be able to take this map, or will we see overtime in our future? Well, it's close no matter what. We needed overtime on Cafe. Both of these teams very evenly matched so far today. And this map of Villa is no different from what we saw on Cafe.
Thus far, please note, we have had a total of 4 defensive wins on Villa. With Thatcher and Maverick Band. It has been an absolute roller coaster of a match. And have y'all noticed how little hard destruction is being brought out from both teams? It's being brought. I mean, we've got the Habana, a staple operator on Giants lineup, but how relevant is it really? Not all that much. It's been a lot of just straight up gunfights, and it's been very entertaining because of that. Now, Aerowolf are 1 round away from bringing us to map number 3. If we do get a map number 3, it'll be Coastline. That'll be an interesting one for sure. We've seen a really interesting Coastline match earlier in the day. It was in the previous one, I believe, and that was, I hear, very intense.
Well, the cameras and staff, rather, have moved on over to Aerowolf's side of the 4 just to capture 1 round winning moment for some B-reel footage, etc., or however you want to call it.
10 seconds.
And here come even more for those of you that are not watching. It's 5:40 on the East Coast. It is 10:40 if you live in Europe that's not the UK, which very soon will not be part of Europe, by the way. Brexit.
Well, I mean, it'll be still part of the...
Shh, just let me have my joke.
Geographically, but...
Anyway, just let me have my joke. Anyway.
You can have your joke.
I'll have my joke. Anyway.
I've made that joke before.
Thank you. 9:40 for the Brits, and Yeah, so almost welcome, good morning to North America. Brazil is awake now as well.
Oh, yeah?
Or well, close to. Yeah, I think Brazil is an hour or two ahead of NA right now, if I remember correctly, on the East Coast. So it should be like 6, 7, or 8 a.m. or something like that. So good morning. This has been a long day so far of very exhilarating matches. And, well, the match before this one was exceptional, and this one is no different. And it looks very likely that we're going to get a coastline as a decider, a map that these teams ban an awful lot, or rather, a map that is played quite a lot from the Giants, but not played very much at all from Aerowolf. So that'll definitely favor the Giants. They're going to need a strong performance here, speaking of the Giants, in the hands of Aces. He's down below, just by the garage. He'll cut through the doorway. Utility, once again, for Giants is pretty similar, though they've dropped the Lion at this particular instance. Instead, they'll be running with the IQ. This is what they did the last time around.
The Lion has been working out pretty well.
The Lion's actually been a pretty good strap, but the problem is that Aerowolf has been running a mute every single time.
So they need to bring a counter.
And they've been posting up, but yeah, there's no Thatcher.
So IQ.
There you go. So then you sub out the IQ for the Lion, and oh, now we're back at the start.
The thing is, it's really the no right situation because of that Thatcher ban. He's such an important operator.
This is an outstanding cam, by the way, and now Legion has been spotted, and well, he's almost certainly a dead man unless Speakeasy sees it. That'll likely doom Aerowolf and put them in a position where overtime will decide the fate of these two teams, and well, with the way the attackers have been going, it's going to be whoever gets attacked twice. Last time around, Giants got to defend on Cafe twice. That was beneficial, but they didn't need both those defenses.
Oh boy. Information has been prevalent here for Giants, but they've not been able to do anything with it. And look at that, we're at the last 50 seconds now, and there still has not been a kill for either team. Not a great nade there from Aces.
That could have gone real bad.
Yeah, it could have cost him his life, but it didn't. And at least there's that. And this is a really nasty angle being played for Speakeasy, and it's going to get him a kill. It's hard to challenge that as an attacker.
Corey takes out Lunar Metal, and there's another from the Giants to take out Speakeasy. So an advantage that goes in the favor of the Giants, despite the opening frag from Aerowolf. Hicks is just rushing into the site, and Hysterics will need to deny. He doesn't have a Nitro cell, so he's going to rely just solely on the cardiac sensor. There's many different ways for him to see his opponents. You can see the marks upstairs. There's going to be Evil Eye cams, but Hysterics has been spotted by a drone, so he's going to have to be very careful about how he gets back to the site. He's not going to be able to get back at all, because when it's a 4v1, you can send somebody down, and it's Rise in this case, whose name is literally the opposite of what he does, and finds Hysterics. We will need, indeed, overtime on Villa. This has been a very close matchup. If it does end up being a 2-0, the scoreline will not show the full story here. Very similar to what we saw from Dark Zero versus FaZe earlier.
Yeah.
Now, the Giants will be able to attack twice. They got the beneficial side on Cafe, and they're going to do so yet again. I think it's worth noting that, unless my notes are wrong, no team has taken a tactical timeout on Villa yet. And literally as I say that, Aerowolf's tactical timeout.
How do you know? Tell me your secrets.
This is pre-recorded.
Oh. All right.
This is pre-recorded.
So
I'm a paid actor.
We have a very close contest here between these teams, and I agree. If this is 2-0, if Giants manage 2 rounds in OT, they push it all the way, then I really don't think you could be able to look at this on a simple infographic and say, oh, 2-0? Oh, wow, what a stomp. It's been so close. Aerowolf have been right next to Giants this whole match. Map 1, Map 2, the whole thing. Really impressive stuff. Tactical timeout going to continue here. A lot of contemplation to be done for Aerowolf. High stakes, as Giants managed to win map number 1, which means that if they win here in OT, it's done. It's over.
Keep in mind that with Wildcard in their matchup against Na'Vi earlier, Wildcard had never made it out of an international event in any capacity. They've never played at a minor that you can qualify for or play for.
Neo, but that's it.
Neophyter played on Fnatic, yes.
That was his fourth
The rest
LAN.
of the team.
This was his 4th LAN, but it's a single player.
And the rest of the team, honestly, they're all outstanding players. So you look at it, and Wildcard will obviously be very disappointed. They came within 1 round of taking down Na'Vi. That is an extraordinary accomplishment and quite the feather in their cap. But at the same time, what expectations do you come in here with? You know, most teams come in here thinking we're going to win the whole thing. If you're not coming in here with that expectation, well, you know, you kind of got a reason why you're coming here. Yes, exactly. But in this case, Wildcard can walk away very happy with their performance. They sure impressed the hell out of me, and they did better than teams like Norarengo, like Ainz, like Mantis FPS, like Fnatic, when they were back known as Mindfreak, did with their debuts on an international stage. And you did so against Na'Vi, one of the best teams at the moment that's present at this tournament. Now, Aerowolf, same thing. They had one international experience. It was at the Allied Esports Minor, where their outing was not strong. They went out 0-3. They were the first team eliminated. And they lost to Giants 7-2. They have made quite a statement here. And even if this is the end, this is quite a moment for them. Oh, all right, Hysterics. You're going to take down Alfama. Singular hard breacher on Villa is gone. That's a start that you need. And as I was just saying, even if Aerowolf goes out here, they have made huge strides and a massive improvement for their very first Pro League debut outside of their region. This is far from over. There's another from Hysterics as he finds Corey, shooting into the body. I don't know why. Mentalist finds Aces, and the Giants, look at the face on Rise. We are all Rise's face. Ysera takes down Rise, and there's one left with 40 seconds off of the clock, 50 seconds off the clock. Hicks can start to get impactless frags, but how about a flawless round for Aerowolf on defense? That's the tempo you want to set on overtime. The tactical timeout was worth it. Match point, Aerowolf yet again.
Let's not gloss over the fact that Aerowolf managed to get defense on overtime. Now, I would say that's going to be a favor for Giants, considering the round history through this map. That is the 5th successful defensive win. 5th, guys. And that was round number 13 we just played on Villa of all maps. So that should be Giants then. All right, great position for them. But now they're going to be the ones taking the tactical timeout, thinking about what just happened, thinking about what they can do. And well, you got to be impressed by this. I mean, the sheer gall on Hysterics. He said, you know what? I want to take the fight to my enemy. I believe I can make this win happen. He ran out, and he made it happen. He got that kill on the balcony. Even though it was known to be a run-out, you could see that Giants were prepared for it, and they just lost that fight.
The Giants' poor droning and poor entry is to blame, and that's just how it works. And, it came back to bite them. Cafe, there were a lot of issues that the Giants had with their entry. It's why Aerowolf was so strong through their defensive rounds. The same thing just showed up again for the Giants. The Giants were very bad at their entry. They didn't do their homework, and they just kind of vaulted on in to their deaths. Now, there's an unpredictability factor that comes here with a team like Aerowolf because you don't have the most amount of footage on them. And in fact, when you look at a map like Villa, it is the most banned map from Aerowolf. And not only did they not ban it, they picked it. This is what happens at these kind of events. Teams wheel out new strategies that you've never seen before, and there's no way to prepare for it. And given the footage that we see, Aerowolf has only played Villa 4 times. They were successful 3 of those times, so they banned it 12 times. And now they play it. And they play it quite successfully. And it's not a bad map for Giants either. Villa has been a very popular map in Europe, barring Empire being, an insta-ban on Villa. Or rather, Villa being an insta-ban for Empire. This is a tough situation for the Giants to be in. They've held tight, and I think it's because the Giants, like I said, are just a flexible and versatile team. But Aerowolf right now clearly is playing in a way that the Giants couldn't prep for fully.
It certainly seems that way.
Yeah, it does.
And when you've got a bunch of bans on one map, it's not a hard reach to say, okay, we banned this map a lot in the regular season. So let's practice it a butt ton before we get to the LAN. It's really not that complicated. Any map can be made a comfortable one for any team. You just have to put in the work. And clearly that's what's been happening here for Aerowolf. That's why we get this amazing match. Now, so far, in overtime, we haven't seen a whole lot of actual crazy pocket strategy being brought out or anything like that.
Right.
You may have noticed that we didn't talk about that first round of overtime. It's because mostly it just comes down to Giants gaming, poor droning,
it's literally
Aerowolf, and Hysterics just pushing, taking fights and winning. Bad entry from the Giants, making that even easier. Now here in this round, Giants gaming get their turn of defense, and this could be very different now, as they are not doing the brazenly aggressive gameplay that we saw from Aerowolf in the first OT round. The trophy defense as well, whereas the first OT round was on Kitchen, though you wouldn't know it.
What's the thing to look at? Giants is running that Ella, Clash, Unity, Unit, Combo, Tandem, Group, Couple. Words are hard. And Aerowolf is running the Montaigne as well. So we're back to the very similar lineup that we saw from both of these teams.
Yeah, I mean...
Sterix is at 17 kills, by the way. 17 and 9, which was very similar to Ace's scoreline on Cafe.
He's having a good match.
He's having a very good match. And Corey's also been having a very good match as well. Rise, who is usually one of the better players, is having an uncharacteristically slow Villa. And if he can bounce back on Coastline, that might be the difference.
Yeah.
Keep in mind how heavy fragging Coastline is. And both of these teams love to get their kills.
Yeah, Rise on kills is actually second only to Aces on Giants in the overall, if you look back at the season. So seeing him struggle here is really going to be, it's going to be rough for Giants. They're going to have to put that somewhere else. But that happens at this level. Often, you know, the weight shifts from player to player, and the best teams are the ones that can persevere when it's necessary and when you have a player like Rise just not having the same exact impact he always does.
Lunar Metal being escorted on in, as now Speakeasy will just puncture a small hole in the bathroom, and he'll be right by Lunar Metal's side. They know that the Clash is positioned over in the corner of Astronomy. Oh, Lunar Metal's gonna drop the pistol and somehow kill the Clash? How do you allow that to happen? That should never happen. But an answer back from the Giants as they get two very swift kills. The opening frag does fall in the way of Aerowolf. Speakeasy finds Hicks. Niella is trapped in the corner as Corey guns down Lunar Metal. Logic Bomb's still ringing away as the phones will be silenced. Ace is very low on HP.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Corey and Rise both over by Connector. They will pull on out. Aces finds Mentalist, so it's all going to be on Speakeasy's shoulder. He has 2 kills. He's got 10 seconds left. He's not going to see the Ella, and we're going all the way. We're going to require all 15 rounds to settle this dispute between these two teams. Aerowolf, they've got one more opportunity as it's going to be match point, series point for the Giants.
This is about as close as it gets. Well, it is as close as it gets, at least in the confines of this one map in this best of 3. Now, again, reminder, since Giants have map 1, if they win this next round, if they take these next 3 minutes into their advantage, then it will be done. The run, as impressive as it is for Aerowolf, will be ended, and Giants Gaming will move on to the semifinals. Now, that last round, look at that. Lunar Metal sees Alfama trying to switch to the SMG, and he just says, okay, I'll take that fight. Giants, meanwhile, I mean, they managed to bring it back through some impressive gunplay, and I'm kind of surprised at the entry there. If I can be honest, I'm mostly just surprised at the entry from Aerowolf, because did you notice they were just walking in through bottlenecks slowly, and that trepidation is not something we've seen them express a lot, because usually when they walk through bottlenecks, they're rushing through as like 3 people all at once.
The pop-up that just showed that basically counts down the rounds, I think is very telling of the way these two teams have played. Every single round has been also decided by kills, nothing else.
That too.
Between these two teams, there have been 3 successful diffusers planted over 28 rounds. That is a very low amount. And like I said, it really speaks to the way that these two teams have loved frag chasing on every single round. That means that a map like Coastline, which is very frag heavy, lots of soft destruction, tons of fights to take, and the way that APAC plays on Coastline.
That's interesting camp from Sterix.
It would be a very exciting matchup. I think an entertaining full-throttle match. So we'll see if we get there. The Giants have an opportunity to put this one away and prep for tomorrow. But Rise, who I said has been having a bad day, well, his day is going to get an awful lot worse, as yet again, Hysterix is able to move unseen and unspotted by the Giants.
Gonna have to see some heroics from the rest of Giants if they want to win this map. Got 2 minutes, 20 seconds to make the attack happen. Alfama's been droning so much that he's still in the spawn. Incredible. He's gonna start working his way towards the building now and try to help his team more directly and less through those drones. The roam here from Aerowolf is really strong. They're holding on to the Aviator Games area and the Gun Vault as well. Corey trying to apply pressure from Repel into that Gun Vault, cut off the rotation. It's really Aviator, though, where you have the stack from Aerowolf. They've got 2 players in Aviator and then support from outside. One has just fallen back, but the alibi of Ysera has stayed here. And it's going to be a down onto Alfalma. It looks like Aerowolf might be able to just take this. No, Corey!
Not again, Corey! At least you find one, but that's not a mistake you can make. At least he takes down Ysera, but Alfama's downed as well. It's a 4v2 unless Alfama can be picked back up. Not only are you down bodies, but you're also down utility. You're down intel. You might be down drones. Alfama gets retrieved by Aces. Frag grenade gets pulled out. You've got to scramble now with 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Not an ideal situation if you're Giants to find yourself in at all. Your approach is going to come from 90. You have to attack Trophy. It's a sight that we haven't seen in quite a while from Aerowolf. You're knocking on the door. That's a beautiful shot from Corey. He's got something to say about this. He knows there's a body lurking behind B-bomb, so he's going to throw out a frag grenade, but it goes off a little too prematurely. Doesn't find anybody. There's lots of frags here. Another's going to get tossed out from Aces. As he marches on up, he finds Mentalist, and the Giants now have an advantage, despite the fact that they look to be throwing this one away. Speakeasy takes out Aces, and Alfama's there. Another from Speakeasy, and Alfama will swing on in. Is it to his death, or is he going to be able to clutch this one? Not much HP, 30 seconds left. He works around the bomb. He doesn't hold the diffuser. He'll need to retrieve it, but Speakeasy and Hysterics are just going to fall back as best as he can. Alfama's got somebody waiting just by the connector. They're both prone. He's got the Xcaros, and Aerowolf will guarantee a 3rd map. We're going to go to Coastline. This is far from over. What a comeback from the Singapore squad, and both APAC teams in the quarters will guarantee themselves at least 1 map on the day. This is a great performance from 2 squads with very limited or no international skill. Maybe the quala is good luck, Magnet. You ever think about that?